Is it time to reimagine your future? The right business skills may make a difference in your career. At Capella University, we offer a relevant education that's designed to focus on what you need to know in the business world. We'll teach professional skills to help you pursue your goals, like business management, strategic planning, and effective communication. And you can apply these skills right away. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Okay, so this has been such a action-packed time for me, doing the dance party, launching She Can't Be Stopped. And I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to my therapist, Amanda. This week, I couldn't stop crying. I just couldn't stop crying. I called my brother. I started crying. I went to the venue where I was going to do the party and started crying. And I sent her a text message, an SOS. And she was able to make time for me and do an emergency session with me. And I want to give her that shout out because that's a resource I haven't had in the past. And I just really want to thank her for that. And I think it can be hard also to thank ourselves. Like when I say thank you to her, I'm not like, oh, thanks, Alison, but I am grateful to myself for reaching out to a healthy resource. And that's why I'm obsessed with BetterHelp, because they give people that tool. They give people the tool to find a therapist, someone they can reach out to and have that relationship with, so that when you get these times of your life that happen, you have that resource. And so I want to say thank you to my therapist, Amanda. And I just also love that BetterHelp wants to sponsor this podcast, because if you're thinking of starting therapy, I think you should give BetterHelp a try. It's online, it's convenient, it's suited to your schedule, and you fill out a questionnaire, and then they're going to match you with a licensed therapist. And so thank you, BetterHelp, for the service that you provide, because I know what it's like to be able to have that resource at my fingertips. I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful to have a sponsor that provides that for people. So let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp, and visit betterhelp.com/awesomea today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/awesomea. Join us on a journey, you glorious human, to see yourself clearly and feel a little more awesome than you did before. It's Awesome with Alison. Everybody dance down. I hate beatboxing.
Oh, I thought you loved it. That's why I was doing it.
Oh, no, you know I don't, but I did. I asked for it with the song. Hello, beautiful people. This is episode 196. We're gonna get in the mix. I'm obsessed with this title. I'm obsessed with this concept. I'm obsessed with you listening. Let's make ear love. This is 196, Values with a Vengeance. Vengeance, vengeance. Are you laughing at ear love?
I like the values, the V with a V, values with a vengeance.
Yeah, I love alliteration.
It's so sassy.
You sounded like Fiona when you said that.
When I said it, I was trying to be like her. She ended up going, yeah. Just
that fire. So this week I was lucky enough to get to speak, and I did a cross between a keynote and a workshop. And I just would like to say to the world listening, I love it. I love it. I love it. I miss doing my Build an Awesome Brand workshop. And so I got to speak. It was a company called Squire, and they have a bunch of financial planners. So these are people who know how to make spreadsheets and track money, things that would be super cool if I knew how to do. And I was excited to really make it valuable for them. Like, I didn't want to just get up and give a keynote. These are CPAs. I'm like, they're going to want some brass tacks. And in my Build an Awesome Brand workshop, I talk about human needs psychology, and I use that as a basis to help people explore their why, their driving needs that they need to fulfill in their life, and then how to use those natural things about them to pour them into their business, their mission, their purpose to be more successful and feel more fulfilled. Ooh, I feel like I worded that well. Did you follow that? Any questions?
No, I like it.
Okay, thank you. So that's really what the aim of the Build an Awesome Brand workshop was. But in the last several years, I've really started thinking about values-based living and what that means, what that looks like. And I realized as I was preparing this workshop that values-based living is understanding your why, understanding what you value, using all of the tools that I help people learn, human needs psychology, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Jungian psychoanalysis, just different types of human needs behavior to be able to quickly connect to the things that truly bring you passion and fulfillment. And this was a fun hybrid for me to use the experience of, I have all these questions and worksheets. I have all the materials to help people understand which human needs really fire them up. And for example, in lots of different modalities, there's different versions, but in what I teach, the human needs are freedom, connection, consistency or comfort. There's connection. There's identity, expansion, growth. Those are human needs. And so what I did is I shared 6 reasons why living a values-based life can positively impact not just your business, but your personal life, your fulfillment. And I just wanted to share those with everybody for this episode, so that because sometimes, especially if we're really religious or we identify with a certain political party, or there's all these outside markers of what we believe, but why we believe them and the way we arrived at those values is all different. And I think that it can be really easy to outwardly live according to a set of guidelines, but inwardly, do they really align with what we believe? And that's what I really challenge myself, is to live what I know to be true. And this is a sales pitch or incentive as to why, even though that is ridiculously uncomfortable and puts me in so many situations where I have to learn hard lessons and get critical feedback to navigate, to learn about myself and shift some behavior to align with those values, it can be really uncomfortable, but this is why it's worth it. Number 1, when you live a values-based life, you have increased motivation and engagement. And there's a Gallup poll that says employees who strongly identify with their values are 1.4 times more likely to be engaged at work. And I love this because increased motivation, this doesn't need to just be your professional work. This is if you want to, let's get some application here. So how would you, Eric, take, I need to work out for my physical fitness, and fit that into your values of what matters to you? Because you've sat through my Build an Awesome Brand workshop a bajillion times. You know what I'm talking about. How would you make that fit?
Say the question one more time.
The question is, I'm saying, because I know you care about working out.
Yeah.
And you've been able to start a habit of working out, where our whole marriage, you really haven't exercised or gone to the gym on a regular basis. But in the last several years, you have. And I know that part of the reason why you've been successful and you've had increased motivation and engagement with this goal is because you have found a way to help it align with your values.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So why?
So let's look at the shift there.
Yeah, I was getting older, closer to 40, and I just realized that my body wasn't feeling as good, and I wanted to feel good. It's important for me to be able to play with kids.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I just heard is connection. Connection is a huge value of yours.
Mm-hmm.
It drives a lot of what you do. And I'm not saying connection isn't a huge value for me, but it doesn't drive what I do quite in the way that it drives what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And so I just wanted to be like more disciplined in my life. And I knew that was something that I could easily control. There's a lot of things that were out of control, but I'm like, you know what, I could go running. And that's
so
why
it was also giving you a sense of certainty.
And I think I would be proud of myself knowing that I was doing something hard every day. I don't know what need that is, but
that's a need we all have, which is self-efficacy, which is confidence in ourselves that we can do things, right?
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, that's actually the human need of identity, which is believing that you matter, believing that you being you has value. And so when you invest and show up for yourself and you're consistent with yourself, you're proving that to yourself, right? That's such a different way. That's such a powerful way to get like motivation and excitement for that goal, as opposed to here's the number on the scale, here's how much weight I need to lift.
Yeah.
Because I think that is the key to how you've been able to sustain it. Number 2, resilience and better stress management. A study published in Psychological Science found that people who reflected on their core values before stressful tasks had lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and performed better under pressure. And that is a skill that I used yesterday when I threw my She Can't Be Stopped, She's a Queen dance party.
Big party.
It was so fun. And after I cried and called my therapist, one thing I said to her is I just feel so stupid for doing this. I feel like it's not going to move the needle.
You mean before the party?
Before the party,
Yeah.
I felt that way. And she helped me connect to my core values. And one of my biggest core values is creation, expansion, growth. I need to feel, everybody does. Everybody needs to feel like they're creating. We're natural born creators, but it's one of my top ones. And she said this, she said, maybe it won't change the circumstance, but we can change the mental state. And that just really empowered me in that moment where I was like, I'm focusing on all these external circumstances that I want to change, but my value isn't changing external circumstances. My value is remembering that I'm already as awesome as I need to be, that I can make a difference, I can contribute. And if I can contribute in a way that is filling me up, that contribution is more than enough. Now, did it help over 300 women fill up their cups in a very stressful week? Yes. And does that feel phenomenal? Hell yes. But being able to return to my values, they helped me with resilience and stress management. And number 3, improved decision making. I love this. Like when you are focusing on your values and using those as like a guiding post to turn into, and not the values that your parents or your family or culture or social media prescribes to you, but your actual values, it's easier to make decisions. Research from Harvard Business Review reveals that values-driven organizations see 3 times higher growth in decision-making clarity. 3 times higher growth in decision-making clarity.
And when people make better decisions, they're going to be given opportunities to make those decisions. Growth in companies, growth in
so true.
Life. That's the whole thing, is like you want to trust and hire someone that makes good decisions.
Yeah.
So if you're making good decisions, you will be called up and up.
That's absolutely true. And your values, if you are living within your values, they don't have to be exactly the same as other people's values. The idea is that there's integrity within the way you operate. And then we can trust one another and have better relationships. Are we healing the world?
I think so.
Oh my gosh, number 4 is stronger relationships and trust. I love that. It says there's Edelman's Trust Barometer. I really like that. has found that 67% of employees choose to work for a company whose values align with their own. Additionally, companies perceived as values-driven often see higher customer loyalty. And how does that apply to your life if you're not a business? I'll tell you how it's applied to my life, as I have really shifted into a values-based living. Is last night at midnight, after hours and weeks and days, you want to know who's at that venue helping me pick up every single piece of anything off the ground? It's my brother, Blake, my husband, my sister-in-law, Chelsea, my sister-in-law, Courtney, my cousins, Stephanie, Tracy, and one phenomenal girl that I met that day when I spoke named Kristen. And I said I needed volunteers, and she was there till midnight.
Wow.
Last night. And I know that I have these stronger relationships because I have been trying to live this way. And I don't do it perfectly. And I don't not do crappy things as well. I'm still Alison. I'm still a person, but really knowing what I value and upending my life in so many ways to connect back to it. Letting go of my business in a way that has been very hard on our family and our finances, but being able to build back up in a way that is tied to my values. I got to see the results of it last night, and I'm so grateful. And also, it is number 5, a better work-life balance and well-being. And when you live in your values, it helps you set boundaries and prioritize what matters. So then you avoid overcommitment. You avoid being resentful. It leads to a healthier work-life balance. And also last night at the party was the women from my neighborhood just having the time of their life there. They bought tickets and they showed up, and I just have had so much more of a work-life balance these past few years than I've ever had. I didn't know how to do it, but living in my values it was a natural byproduct. And number 6 is a boost in innovation and creativity. And holy crap, when I am more focused on, so some of my core values are that growth, creation, I put those together, and identity. Those are values that very much drive me. Obviously, I say the same thing at the end of every podcast. Only you can be you, and you're already as awesome as you need to be. I believe in your value. I believe in your worth. And I believe that it's worthwhile to help you break your mind free from the prison that has you thinking otherwise, right? And as I connect to that, I don't care if you think my garland is ugly. I don't care if you think my flowers aren't good. I don't care as much that I'm way heavier in my costume coming down the stairs as a queen with a 5-pound wig on my head and more weight on me. Do I care a bit? And are there parts of me that get on my head about it? Absolutely. But then I connect to those values to be brave enough to show up and be innovative and creative. And it's so freaking liberating. And yeah, sure, maybe some people are thinking whatever they're thinking, but you want to know what people are saying? They're grabbing me by the shoulders and looking at me in the eye and saying, "Thank you. I'm so glad you're back." And I haven't really thought about it right to this very second, but what a sweet, "I'm so glad you're back." Like, they don't mean, "I'm so glad you look the way you used to look. I'm so glad they don't mean any of that. They mean, "I'm glad you showed up with your values and your gifts, Alison." Like, what is the point? Like, what is the point of life? And you want to know the other freaking best thing? Our kids were there. Our kids were there. And I got to wobble baby wobble with Fiona, and Ginger danced with me, and they wore tiaras, and Rad was in the throne in his yellow suit with a tiara on with 3 boxes of Sunshine Bun cinnamon rolls. And it was amazing. If this sounds awesome to you, I have some coaching spots open, and this is the type of stuff I love helping you understand about yourself. So I have an offer, $20 off or something like that for a coaching session. Just that's for podcast listeners only, and we have a link to that in the show notes. So check that out. But I hope that this episode was valuable to you. I want to thank again BetterHelp for being our sponsor, because having a therapist you can talk to helps you be introspective and reflect on your values. So I love that they were our sponsor for this episode. It just is absolutely perfect. Eric, we have a review, don't we?
We do.
Yay!
This is from Amber Erom, something sweet like that. She says, I love this podcast. Alison brings so much happiness, knowledge, and awesome energy to each episode. This truly is one of my favorite podcasts.
Thank you so much, my love. Thank you for that reward. We are going to send you some goodies from She Can't Be Stopped, my fantastic empowerment and events platform. Shoot us an email to it's this one. It's biggirl@shecan'tbestopped.com. Do you like I have so many emails in my head? Hey, we're so grateful that we're here. We love you. We appreciate you. We believe in you, and we are so grateful for this community. I'm excited to pour energy and love into it, and I'm just so grateful to each and every one of you that shows up. Will you share this episode or any other episode that has affected you? It helps us so much, and we're so grateful, and I'll leave you with this. Only you, you're so beautiful. Only you can be you, and you are already as awesome as you need to be. Take us away, baby.
You got it.
The search for truth never ends. Introducing June's Journey, a hidden object mobile game with a captivating story. Connect with friends, explore the roaring 20s, and enjoy thrilling activities and challenges while supporting environmental causes. After 7 years, the adventure continues with our immersive travels feature. Explore distant cultures and engage in exciting experiences. There's always something new to discover. Are you ready? Download June's Journey now on Android or iOS.